Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCET and PBS SoCal, and we're partnering with the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. Let's start with you, Jacob, and the return of the blob.
Yeah, it's not quite the blob, which people may remember was the largest marine heat wave ever recorded in the Northeast Pacific, stretched from Alaska down around California. This was about 5 years ago. That was the hottest on record. This one we're seeing this year is now the second hottest on record. It really hit its peak back at the end of summer, but unlike previous years where waters has started to cool down by October in a really big way, it's still around. And that is concerning because heat waves can lead to toxic algal blooms that can hurt sea life. They can make shellfish poisonous, and they could even cause mammals like sea lions to go north in search of food because some of their food, like squid, go north in search of colder waters. And what happens is they leave behind all their babies. And so humans have to launch rescue operations to save their babies. So this heat wave could cool down, but there is a chance also, given how persistent it is, that it'll kind of smolder out in the Pacific and then come back with a vengeance probably about next summer.
Caroline continues to track the census for us. She's been reporting that people skipped more questions than usual on their 2020 census forms. What's going on?
That's right. So this is based on preliminary data. People were less interested in telling the government their birth date, gender, or race on the census form this year compared to 2010. And Bureau officials don't think this is because census takers were rushing to finish counting people to meet the Trump administration's early deadlines. Because even when people turned in the census form on their own time, they also skipped questions. And in terms of an explanation, the government has only said something else is at work. I talked to a researcher at Harvard about what that could be. She did a study that found Latinos were more likely to skip questions on a census-like survey if it asked about U.S. citizenship. Now, the 2020 census did not ask about citizenship, but she thinks the whole debate over that might have caused damage on its own and made people hesitate before sharing their information. She's waiting for the government to say which demographics specifically didn't answer questions to see if that matches her findings. Now, the Bureau will try to fill in the gaps with using other official records, but at the urging of the Trump administration, they're doing that on a very, very compressed timeline.
There's a new survey that finds a majority of LAPD officers who responded to that survey aren't satisfied with the leadership of Chief Moore. Frank, tell us more about that.
Yeah, the dissatisfaction grows out of how Moore handled the unrest that followed the killing of George Floyd. Officers responding to the survey said they felt the chief had cowered to Black Lives Matter and pandered to the mayor and city council, who had expressed concerns about how the LAPD treated protesters. Some officers were angry that commanders took a knee at one point with BLM protesters. In all, the survey found almost 9 of 10 officers did not feel supported by the chief. It's worth noting that it was conducted by the officers' often cantankerous labor union, and that about 2,500 of the department's 10,000 LAPD cops responded. So no doubt it represents the most vocal officers. But the survey is more evidence of frustration among police officers who are under the gun to change the way they interact with the public. The chief, trying to balance the interests of his cops, city leaders, and reformers, promised to do better.
And Karen's here with us today from KCET to discuss the way COVID is changing our public spaces.
Yes, museums and performance venues may be closed, but LA's creativity keeps on going. This great article on kcet.org by culture writer Jean Trin examines how art is infiltrating our public spaces even more. While public art isn't new, we're seeing this rapid increase of repurposing publicly accessible places. Since September, the marquee at Ace Hotel in downtown, for example, has been adorned with different haikus every week, contributed by renowned artists like Kim Gordon and Harry Gamboa Jr. Art has been popping up even on front lawns. Grand Central Arts Center recently used a patron's front yard to put up Nina Kachadorian's Monument to the Unelected, showing 59 yard signs bearing the name of losing candidates from past presidential elections. In Highland Park, Nama Haviv launched her own tiny museum using a glass display case, where people can adopt their very own Dwayne Rocks, named, of course, after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Since then, she's put up exhibits on white fragility and holiday traditions. Needless to say, it's a great time to take a walk around your neighborhood, and don't forget your masks.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you all at the KPCC and LAist newsroom. We will see you on Monday.